The night before WrestleMania 19, Stone Cold Steve Austin was rushed to the hospital. He was lying in a hospital bed, hooked up to machines. His heart rate was dangerously high, his blood pressure out of control. Doctors told him not to wrestle, that if he stepped in the ring, he was putting his life on the line. But just hours later, there he was, walking down that ramp, glass shattering, facing The Rock for the third and final time. The crowd had no idea they were watching history, because this wasn't just another match. This was the last time Stone Cold Steve Austin would ever compete in WWE. To understand why Austin's career ended that night, we have to go back to the beginning. In 1995, WWE was struggling. Ratings were down, WCW was winning the Monday Night Wars, and fans were starting to tune out. Austin came in as the Ringmaster, a forgettable character managed by Ted DiBiase. He had no direction, no spark, nothing that screamed main event. But Austin wasn't the kind of guy to settle. He reinvented himself. In 1996, at King of the Ring, he cut the promo that changed wrestling forever. Austin 3:16 says, "I just whooped your ass." That one line turned him into a star. Fans connected instantly. He wasn't a superhero like Hulk Hogan. He wasn't flashy like Shawn Michaels. He was a tough, beer-drinking, no-nonsense brawler who hated his boss and didn't care about rules. Austin became the voice of a new generation. The attitude. Austin landed directly on his head, breaking his neck. For a few terrifying moments, he couldn't move. Somehow, he forced himself to finish the match, crawling to a weak roll-up for the win. Fans cheered his toughness, but they didn't know the truth. That injury left permanent damage. Doctors warned him to stop wrestling, but Austin wasn't ready. He pushed forward and the risks grew higher. From 1998 to 2001, Austin was untouchable. His feud with Vince McMahon was the stuff of legends. Week after week, he stunned his boss, drove Zambonis into the arena, filled McMahon's car with cement, and even hosed down the entire ring with beer. Every fan wanted to live through him, flipping off authority and fighting back against the system. Business was booming. Raw was beating Nitro. Pay-per-views were selling out, and Austin was the most popular wrestler in the world. But success came at a cost. Years of punishment wore down his knees, his back, and most of all, his neck. By late 1999, it caught up to him. At Survivor Series, WWE wrote him off television with a storyline injury. Triple H and Rikishi ran him over with a car. The real reason was much scarier. Austin needed major neck surgery. The procedure fused vertebrae in his spine and kept him out of action for nearly a year. Doctors once again told him to walk away, but Austin refused. When he returned in late 2000, the reaction was thunderous. Stone Cold was back and fans were ready. His battles with The Rock defined a generation. At WrestleMania 17, Austin turned heel in one of the most shocking twists ever, siding with Vince McMahon after years of feuding. While the turn divided fans, his matches were still unforgettable, but his body was breaking down again. By 2002, Austin was frustrated. WWE Creative wanted him to lose to Brock Lesnar on free television without build-up. Austin didn't agree. He felt the match was too big to give away for free, and he walked out. Months later, he returned, but the truth was unavoidable. His body wasn't keeping up. The man who once carried the company could barely make it through matches anymore. And that brings us back to 2003. The night before WrestleMania 19, Austin's body gave him one final warning. He collapsed in his hotel room, rushed to the hospital, and spent the night under observation. Doctors told him to cancel. He ignored them. For Austin, the only way to go out was in the ring. He faced The Rock one last time, in the third and final chapter of their legendary rivalry. After the match, Austin leaned in and whispered, "I appreciate it, I love you." That was his goodbye. WrestleMania 19 was his last match. After retirement, Austin didn't disappear. He became a cultural icon, hosting Tough Enough, appearing in movies, creating the Broken Skull Sessions podcast, and staying connected with fans. For years, people begged for one more match. Austin always said no. He valued his health and wanted to enjoy life outside of wrestling. Then, in 2022, nearly 2 decades later, Austin shocked the world by returning at WrestleMania 38 to face Kevin Owens. It wasn't the Austin of old, but fans didn't care. Hearing the glass shatter one more time was enough. But what if things had been different? What if Austin never retired in 2003? Imagine the ruthless aggression era with Stone Cold still at the top. Austin versus Brock Lesnar in 2003, Austin versus Cena in 2005, Austin against Arden during the Legend Killer run, even Austin against Batista at his peak. These matches could have redefined the 2000s. And what about later? A feud with CM Punk during the Pipe Bomb era could have been one of the most explosive rivalries of all time. If Austin stayed, the landscape of WWE would look very different. Cena might not have risen as fast. The company might not have leaned so heavily on part-time stars in later years. Austin could have carried WWE into a new golden age. But reality was harsh. His body simply couldn't take it. Choosing health over glory was the only option. And in a way, that's why Austin's legacy is so powerful. He didn't fade away. He didn't embarrass himself by hanging on too long. He left at the top while the glass was still shattering and the crowd was still going wild. Stone Cold Steve Austin's career was short compared to many legends, but it burned brighter than almost anyone else's. The man who flipped off his boss, stunned half the roster, and carried WWE through its toughest years walked away before the damage became irreversible. And because of that, we remember him as the icon he always was.